Well, hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies and Gents Listen Up. And wow, I'm excited about the comments that we're receiving. How are you today, Mr. Carpenter?
I'm doing well, Dr. Liz, and you?
I am doing well. I was gonna say enjoying this heat, but I'm telling you, I feel like I'm melting like butter. Well, all right, you all, before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, right? We're getting up there and we're hitting our numbers, and we thank you all so much for participating in the conversation. So, before we get started, we're going to go on over to Grandma's cookie jar. And, folks are asking me about Grandma's cookie jar. My grandson, he comes in and he says, "Where's the cookie jar?" So, the cookie jar is becoming famous, y'all. How about that? Let's grab this nugget of the day and let's see. Hold on. I can't get it out here today. We're going to have to purge. All right. So, Grandma's cookie jar secret today says, "You can do hard things." Wow. Just very simple, right? And on the other side, fall asleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose. Hmm. Fall asleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose. It's nothing like walking with a purpose and walking intentional. All right, Grandma's cookie jar. All right, all right. All right, so before we get into the topic of today, and this is funny. I'm going to give you a hint about what today's topic is going to be about, and then we're going to talk about it along the way. But this is one of the world's most asked questions. Wonder if we can get some feedback on what do you think the world's most asked question is. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Let's go into some of our comments. One of the comments that we had from was from Ms. Rose Children. I had it up and then it just disappeared. From Miss Rosa T, right? And she says, "Hi, Rufus. I also saw this you about codependency. I'm glad that Dr. Liz enlightened us about it. Enjoy your day." Thank you so much, Rosa, for your comment and for watching and supporting. Keep the comments coming, everybody. We also have from Mr. Michael Bart Matthews. Hey, Coach Matthews, breaking the chains of codependency. So both of these were about the codependency podcast that we did last week. Breaking the chains of codependency. Boundaries protect the person who sets them, not other people. Why? Because as long as your boundaries are non-negotiable and you keep your commitment to yourself, others cannot come into your space unless you let them. Lesson learned about boundaries. Then we had one more. Cannot not bring up my aunt Letty Jones. She said, "I love watching the podcast and the camaraderie shift between the two of you. I love the information you share. Thank you." Wow. So we have a gamut of folks that are watching, and I'm glad that we're getting good content out there. So if you have any suggestions about what an upcoming episode or just a topic that you want us to research and have some conversation about, just let us know. Put it in the comments or shoot us a text if you have our numbers. Well, all right then. So the question, the world's most asked question: what is love? Just a simple question, right? Everybody wants to know, what is love, Mr. Carpenter?
What is love is not simple at all. This is one of the questions that have fascinated human society for ages and centuries. Love, what is love? We all have our definition of love. We know it deals with emotions. We know it deals with family. We know that love has so much. We know there's a Hollywood literary type love that you see in the movies. We know that there's a love, but I always want to start with the law of first mention and first learning. So, what is love? It comes to me, first thing come to me is love. The standard for my love and the standard I have for love and the standard I've known for love is God's love for Christ and how Christ loved us and how he gave his life for us. So that starts it off. That starts it off right there. And First Corinthians chapter 13. As a matter of fact, that chapter, they say what it kind of, you can say why is love? What is love? And in the King James Version, they kind of mix the word charity for love. Because in that first verse, it says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass and tinkling cymbals. In other words, it don't mean anything unless you have love. No matter what you say, if you don't have love, it don't mean anything. All right? So with that, what is love? Love is described as a deep affection or attachment to someone or something. It can be an immense feeling that's both exuberating and overwhelming. Love has the power to inspire us, to motivate us to become more of ourselves than we ever thought could be. Love can make you feel so disconnected at times because like the singers what's that singers group they got Joy and Pain. That's a staple in our neighborhood, Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Power, love, joy, and pain. That's that. When we're gonna get into love so deep today, we're gonna talk about all facets of love. We're gonna talk about the Hollywood version. We're gonna talk about the love you have for your family. We're gonna talk about how love extends beyond your relationships. We're gonna talk about how love is not something that's static. Love is something always evolving and being more and more. And we're gonna talk about how love is a powerful force that it must be worked. You must nurture love. So let me let you start it off first, Dr. Liz. I gave us the what furs and open the can of worms. So you got your glasses on from the beginning. So I know you want to tell us something.
I have my glasses on from the beginning. Well, okay, so I know you always say, ooh, Dr. Liz, you go deep, you go deep. So I thought about it as we were talking about this subject about love, right? And so yeah, I go a little deep, and we do have some people like what you said. We want to hit it from all different angles, and also I want to talk about even the science of it, right? Because oftentimes we don't even understand, there's a biochemical tsunami, I want to say, that happens, right? Because there's a feel good hormone that shoots through our body when we meet that person, and we hear sometimes we do, well, we might hear the little, what is it, the fireworks. We just came off of the 4th of July. We hear the fireworks and all of that. But we don't even understand that there is something going on deep inside of us at a cellular level, right? There's a chemical. It's like, why do I feel this certain way? Like I come around this person and I start dropping my pen, or I can't talk. I think Hitch. That was one of the movies I love to watch, where Hitch, he was the relationship or the love guru, right? And then, not to tell the whole story or spoiler alert, it's an old movie, so I'm sure most of us have seen it if we weren't to watch it. But he was, so cool, calm, debonair, taught other people how to love, right? Taught other people how to be themselves, and that's what it was. And listen to that clue too about being yourself, right? So he was, teaching people how to be themselves, but when it hit him, ooh, he became a bumbling, right? Flipping over stuff and dropping, getting caught in cabs and flipping, just lost it and didn't understand why. But as we go through a little bit, I want to talk about that because it really fascinated me. We talk about everything that you were talking about, which we can get into that too. But I was like chomping at the bit when I started understanding, the euphoric feeling that you get with love, right? The high, you can't wait to see that person, It's like, what is that all about? I wonder if we're interested in that. What is that? What do you think that's all about?
Well, it's love overflowing, because when I think about all the songs, all of the beautiful songs of the 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s about love, when it was before rap, how love was everything. Love was in the air. Patti LaBelle songs about love, Stephanie Mills songs about love, Temptation songs about love, Teddy Pendergrass songs about love. My favorite, Al Green, make you want to stay over. I come home early. But love, the romantic love is something that's really unique. The romantic love, even though it brings you so much joy, it makes you wonder sometimes. It's joy and fear and pain at the same time, because you can be vulnerable, and you can be at the point that it makes you afraid that you may not add up, or the love, you may lose your love, or the person may not love you the way you love them. And it just, like you said, like that person that dropped the pencil and all that stuff, those emotions run so deep and so strong, because it's like I said, it's overwhelming. It fascinates you. It takes your mind. It takes your soul. Because when we look for love, in the physical version, we look for the physical and emotional intimacy of our partners and our loved ones. And that sometimes that chemistry is more than we can take and bear sometimes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and if
yeah,
it's the right one, or
yeah.
even worse, if it's the wrong one, it can really send you for a loop.
It really can. There's some, and I think this is why I'm so, I'm a forever student, if you will, right? Because, I mean, you go through life and you make decisions based on different things or what have you. But when I learn something, or that's why I like to bring the podcast, because I like to go, a little bit deeper into things. And when you do that, then you can, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say control your outcome, but you can control who you show up as, right?
Yes,
And by educating yourself, and that's why we talk a lot about going back and doing our work on ourselves, because when you do your work, meaning that when you exercise, when you drink your proper water, and you're taking care of yourself, and you're taking care of your mental health, and you're setting, like we said with codependency, you're setting your proper boundaries, you're going back, and it sounds like a lot of work, but you know what? When you come to that healthy place where you are your healthy self, and then you meet somebody else that's done their work, and they are their healthy self, then you look
yes,
around, and then the chemistry is there. And we go to the chemistry. We're gonna give thanks to Sai's show for some of this information and just kind of confirmation about dopamine, about the adrenaline. And this other one, I'm gonna mess it all the way up. All of these things pour into, so we say like chemistry. Wow, it's even deeper than, oh, I just really, oh, he's so cute, or he's so handsome, or isn't she just, it's more than that. It's the chemistry that goes on, right? And the dopamine, man, when we start understanding about dopamine being dumped into our system, when we see somebody that, nice, that goes into our system, and then the feel good hormones start to react. But guess what? It's important that we're in our healthy state of mind, because it doesn't last long, y'all. It doesn't last forever, right?
yes, yes,
it starts
yes,
to
yes,
dwindle down a little bit, right? And then when those hormones and everything and the chemistry, the chemicals start to slow down, then what is there left, right? What is there left? So you have to make that genuine connection and do your work as far as, is this a good fit for me, right? We always say throw out the list, right? We talk about throw out the list, but I don't know. I think it's a good thing to know what you want and what you like. Then you're not just bumbling around and things are just happening to you, right? Go
yes.
ahead. I know you're rocking. There's something
You know,
going on.
so when you said that, because there's so much, we got so much we'll talk about love today, and it's kind of hard, kind of keeping it all in. But when you said love, it changes. Love, like I said at the beginning, love changes, always involved. When you first meet someone, that feeling of love, it changed. It's so, you're so in tune and stuff. But that changes when you and a person been companions for years and years. It's not as if the same love when you first fall in love with somebody. When you've been a companion with someone for several years, it's a different love. It's a different love. It's more of a I know you there. I feel you when you're not there. I don't need to see you every 5 minutes to know you love me. I don't have to go out the door every time you walk out the door, look out the door where you're going to try to follow you, because I know you have me in your heart and I carry you with me. So that's a different thing. That's why you got to realize your relationship, you always have to nurture your love and nurture relationships. It's commitment. You have to put in the work. And not that it's hard work. It's just that you want it to grow. you want to put in the work to actually be that partner and be the best partner you can for your partner, because you want your needs met and you want to meet your partner's needs. And that's what I was just wanting to make sure that you understand that. Because love is a powerful force. Love has the power to transform anybody. Even the hardest nut can crack. I'm telling you, love has the power to transform. It can transform individuals. It can transform families. It can transform even society itself. You know,
Right.
we've got what Martin Luther King did, what Mahatma Gandhi did. Gandhi, I can't say the name right. What he did over in India. You know, there's so much that love does. And love, when you put love outside yourself, it makes you want to be more kind. It makes you want to be more passionate. It makes you want to be more generous and more selflessness.
Yeah.
That's the power of love inside of you. When you can tell what a person come to do by the way they carry themselves. You can see if a person coming out of love, or they coming out of hatred, or they coming out of guilt or shame. You can tell.
And that's
That's how
freeing.
strong love is.
What you
But
just said though, that's powerful, because what you just said is about being free, right? So when you have love in your heart, wisdom, but when you have love in your heart, and it breaks down a multitude of things. There's been some relationships that I had to go and reconcile with, to say, cousins, and just, building these relationships built on love and not on assumptions or not on anything. I just had a conversation with my cousin earlier today, and we were talking about how freeing it is when you learn how to forgive, because sometimes we can step on each other's toes and don't even realize that we've stepped on their toe, or we
yes,
stepped on their
yes,
toe and kept going and didn't say we were stuck. We apologized for it, and then you hold that resentment, and you hold all those negative feelings inside, which again, on a biochemical level, is toxin. So it's toxin.
yes,
But when you let it out and you really love, I have a dear friend. I'm gonna say hi, Delphine. I appreciate you. She shows love. Like she really loves on the people. People in her circle and people out of her circle. But when you do that, you have no idea how freeing that is, and how much love is returned. They say you get what you put out there, right? So oftentimes, you can change the temperature in a room by coming in with a good spirit. We all have life, and life is not easy. We have
yes,
things that happen to us, but it's like, what is it? 10%. So what is it? 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you respond to it. That's what
yes,
That's what happens. So I just think when you talk about love, like you said, there's so many facets of that. And what if we
yes,
all just practice loving on somebody every day, or just embracing them? We have no idea what that's going to what type of you know I call them strongholds, but what type of a wall that's going to break down, right? And then it frees you. It frees your heart.
yes, yes. What is love? What is love? The pursuit of love. You got to remember, love is not control. Love is not possession. Love requires your participation, a genuine act of kindness, the connection between two people. It can be between lovers, it could be between family members, it could be between coworkers, it could be between volunteers at the Red Cross. Love has so many forms. Love has the power to inspire acts of heroism, courage, sacrifice, compassion. It just go on and on. As a matter of fact, a lot of the virtues are built from love. Patience, uh, caring, all that's out of love.
Kindness. Just
Love
just
is,
being kind,
yeah, we
right?
could go on and on with this love. It's just, there's so many different forms of love, to give love, to receive love, because it's always, people say it's better to give than receive. That's love.
Right, right.
Your generosity is out of love.
And also sacrifice, right?
Yes,
When you
yes,
love somebody, you will sacrifice. And I love what you said earlier too, about it's about showing it. It's not just about saying it, but it's about showing it. It's about what's in your actions, right? And it's about how
yes,
you take care of one another. And that's, to me, that's what love is, showing it. I used
yes,
to, when my children were growing up, I I couldn't get with, initially I did, because you follow what the tribe does, what the village does, like with the Christmas and everything, right? But okay, it's all about, we go out and we spend all this money, and oftentimes people spend all this money, go into debt, then January comes, everybody's figuring out, worrying how they're going to pay for the bills. And I said, when my children were little, I said, you know what, how about we create an experience? So we go on a trip and we enjoy each other and spend that time together. And they still remember the trips that we took. So we still talk about those trips. And so, it's about, really creating those experiences, creating that time together and just appreciating each other and showing each other that you do. It's, again, showing, not just telling, because you can say it all day long, but if you once you show it, then that really touches a person's heart. So you can make a huge
Yeah.
difference in somebody's life by just showing them that you love
When your thoughts and actions are deeply rooted in the foundation of love, all things seem to go better. All things seem to better. Now I know we've said and we've painted a pretty picture of love, and love is great. It is a pretty picture, but love has its challenges. Love is not without challenges.
Are you saying it's like a rose bush? We have those beautiful, sweet smelling roses, but we got some thorns on the vine too. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying? That's what I
fear,
think I hear you
fear,
saying.
fear, insecurities. Love can put you through the ringer. Love can have you all up in the air, so full of joy and emotions and just love. And man, everything is rose colored, and every day is a beautiful day. And on the other end, it can put fear in your heart. It can make you feel so insecure, and it can warp your mind if you let it.
That's what my honest desire is, as we're putting this information out, so that we can. I want us to be able to be free, and the only way to do that is for us to take control of that, because it assumes a responsibility, right? Because once we know this information, it's now up to us to walk it out. We can talk about it all day long, but if we're not doing the work on ourselves to help us to get in a good place, because this is the thing, oftentimes, like you said, we have this euphoria in this beginning of a relationship. We see somebody beautiful, eye candy, they carry themselves well, they're everything, all the check marks on our list. However, are we taking the time, or are we just jumping into that? Are we taking the time to really get to know the person and get to know if this is a good match for us? Is that person in a healthy space, or does that person show some signs of? I had some other things down here, some obsessive compulsive issues. Do they have, are they texting you 300,000 times a day? And are they making some unhealthy demands on you? So this is the thing about really getting to a healthy place ourselves. And hey, I'm talking about myself too. All of us doing our work, and once we do the work that we need to do to get ourselves in a healthy place, then we remove that fear. We remove that anxiety. We remove that, and not saying that everything, because we're all, we're all imperfect beings, right? Imperfect beings working together to form a relationship. But oftentimes it's because we are not accepting the responsibility for moving forward wisely or stopping before it gets to that place of being unhealthy. And then we do further damage to ourselves, right? We do further damage to ourselves, because now another bad relationship. Met somebody else. But did you heal from that other relationship? Or are you expecting this person to be your all in all and make you happy? And I think those false expectations is what really, in the end, really hurts us, right? And then it damages us. And now we got PTSD going on, because we have one traumatic situation, then we have another traumatic situation, and then another one, because we didn't go back and heal from the others. We didn't go back and do the recovery work. And so that's when you say, yeah, love can be scary, it can be, it can be unhealthy, it can be abusive, it can be all of those things if we don't do the work on ourselves.
Correct. So I guess you gotta say you gotta have courage. You gotta have willingness to put yourself out there.
Not just put yourself out there. You gotta have the courage to go back and heal your hurt first.
Yeah, okay, correct.
Then,
But see, now you're getting into that what we call unconditional love.
I wouldn't say unconditional love if you're being abused, though. And abuse comes in many ways.
Not necessarily on that one. Well,
Help me
I'll let you make
understand.
your point first, and then I'll come on the back end of your point. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
my point is, yeah, unconditional love. I get that. But the first person that you have to show unconditional love is to yourself. And if you're
Hmm.
putting yourself in unhealthy situations, or you're repetitively dating the same person in a different body, you have to go back to that root, which is yourself. So if you want a healthy outcome, then we have to do the work on ourselves, and then we learn. Yes, there's a story that I want to make this point very very clearly. So there's a lady, and she is, alone, and she's been alone for a long time, and has adapted herself to being alone, right? She goes into the bushes, and I got this from one of the courses that I'm taking, and so I don't know where the story came from, but I'll source it because I would always give credit to where it came from. It's not my story, and I heard one of the same kind of story about a snake, you know. Let's tell the one about the snake, since I don't know the story, so I don't know where to source the other one from. Let's tell the story about the snake. So a lady comes out in the woods, and she sees a snake, and the snake is hurt, right? The snake is hurt, and everything. So she takes care of the wounded snake. She makes the snake her pet, right? Takes the snake home, feeds them, and everything. The snake bites her. Poisonous snake, he bites her. And she says, "Why did you do that? I'm going to die now. Why did you bite me?" And he said, "Well, you knew I was a snake when you brought me home, right?" And so
Yeah.
that's what I mean about, we talk about unconditional love, and that's fine in a healthy place. Because if we know, if we meet somebody, and that person is not in a healthy place, or that person is a narcissist, or in any of those spaces, if you don't recognize those traits, and you put yourself in that position, can you now say, "Man, I need to unconditionally love this person"? She unconditionally loved the snake, and what did he do? Because that was his nature.
Yes. And when you said that, you bring to my mind my personal pastor, a guy by the name of David Bradley. And when he always talked about love, when me and him always talk, he always talked about love and the first commandments, and commandment to love. And if you love, all everything else will fall in place. And he talks that scripture to me all the time. So I understand what you're saying. So you're 100% correct. You have to understand. That's why prayer comes in. You have to ask guidance, and you have to get the discernment about people and situations. So that's where prayer comes in. Now, when I was talking, and you're 100% on your expression of that, of being protecting your own heart and your own ability, and knowing better, because you just don't want to be the sacrificial lamb and just put yourself out there. So you're right. So I give you that. But what I was talking about when I was saying unconditional love is what I first learned from my family. My first look of unconditional love is experiences I had with my family, my mothers and fathers and my siblings. That's for me, that's how I learned unconditional love, because I had a brother that used to gamble my money away when I was a teenager, and I'd give it to him, lose my whole paycheck. Well, he'd lose my whole paycheck, and I would be happy, and he'd be happy, and we would go on about our business. And we did that but that was
Were you
unconditional.
happy? Were you happy?
It didn't bother me. That was my brother.
It was your brother, but what did you sacrifice? And on the spot, were you truly happy? What did you sacrifice? Because that money that you helped, you enabled him, right? So if you enabled him to continue to do that, then that causes harm not only to you, but it continues to enable his bad behavior.
Correct there. But what I'm saying out of that, I didn't fault him. I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset. I didn't cuss him or curse him or treated him any different or any less. He's my brother. Hey, that's my older brother. Hey, we cool. Let's move on. Let's go have some fun. That was my mindset. So from that, now I've gotten smarter over the years. I've learned now, but that unconditional love from my family went out. I wouldn't let nobody else do that to me, but I let my sibling do it, because that unconditional love was there for my family and my siblings. So that's how I first learned unconditional love. For me, I'm talking for me now. I'm not talking to nobody else. But
No,
that's my first experiences of unconditional love.
I get it.
So as I grew older and then began to understand, and I said, well, dang, I scratched my head now. I said, I was crazy. But I didn't know. I had to mature. We all had to grow. We all had to mature over time. we all can look where we came from and watch where we're going. Now, going forward, that ain't gonna happen now. Matter of fact, it's gonna be hard.
See, there we go. There we go. Until we go through the whole recovery system,
Yes,
and until
yes,
we go through the whole recovery system,
yes,
that has residual effects on you having healthy relationships going forward.
yes,
Because
yes.
you'll have issue because there is a and we don't go into a therapy session or anything like that, but it just I get so excited because the path to recovery helps us to have healthier outcomes and helps us
Mhm.
in our present relationships. But again, that's what I'm talking about doing our work and not bringing all of that with us, because that's still baggage. It's still baggage because we say, wow, just like you said, nobody, you were adamant about that. Nobody gonna do that to me again. You know what I'm saying? But something may trigger, and that's where people say they take light of triggers. But that's a trigger that's been embedded, and until we heal that trigger, you're always going to have outcomes associated to that trigger or other triggers, and not just yourself, but me too. And that's why I'm so excited, because there is a path to recover from all of that. And then we can show, when we say, what is love? Well, I am so looking forward to that. Being healthy in a total healthy position and meeting someone in that healthy position and then coming together. I think that right there, that's when we talk about dopamine flowing and adrenaline flowing and nephrorenescence flowing. That's always my word. And then it keeps going, and there's a bonding that happens and all of that. But that's the thing about it, is accepting your own responsibility for doing your work and putting yourself in the best position. So that, what is love? Oh my goodness, I think we couldn't even handle love at its total totality.
Yes, and Dr. Liz, in conclusion, love is a complex, emotion that defies easy explanation. It encompasses a whole range of experiences, from the love we feel for our family and our friends to the romantic love we have for our partner. Love brings joy. It also carries challenges. It requires us to be vulnerable. It requires effort. It requires a commitment of growth and understanding. Love is a choice and an ongoing process of giving and receiving. Ultimately, love has the power to transform individuals and society. And it forces us that we should cherish and nurture each other in our love.
Well, should we drop the mic right there, sir? But there you have it, everybody. Don't forget to show us some love by hitting that subscribe bell. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. With somebody else who's on that path to recovery. Yes, sir.
Would I get in trouble if I say I love you? Would I get in trouble?
That's so sweet. We're supposed to show love.
All right, I love you, Dr. Liz.